Hello and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be going over a very interesting brand new subject Roblox has just introduced, and that may be subscriptions. So now, believe it or not, Roblox has actually added subscriptions into your game, and now you can use them whenever you want. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at what we can do here. So obviously we have the dashboard here, we have the metrics we can view, and obviously this is how it will look like if you want to buy a subscription for a specific game, which I think is super duper cool. Okay, so obviously subscriptions are a great way to get a little bit of extra money into your game. Okay, so this is just a super cool feature to have, because before, if you wanted this, you just have to make your own infrastructure and all of this, but now with this new update, Roblox allows you to have to do none of that and just to get to development and making the benefits for users. Okay, so now let's go over and pretend we were a user who wanted to buy a subscription. So here we are inside of a Roblox game. This is my own game, and here I have a little example of a subscription. So it has a name, and I'm just going to click on subscribe, and that's how it would work if you were to get the Game Pass. Now, there is a way for users, so let's pretend I'm a normal user and I want to manage my subscriptions. I simply need to head over to the subscriptions page inside of my settings, and if I do have any subscriptions active, I'll be able to manage them. So if we have a quick look at this picture here, you can see this user can control all of their subscriptions here through their settings, which once again is also another super useful feature, as it allows you to manage all of your subscriptions in one place. And Roblox really gives us all of this infrastructure without us having to do too much work. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. Okay, so the first part that is super essential is creating our subscription. Okay, so just like with any other Game Pass or development product, we need to create it before we can use it. Okay, so let's just head over to the creator, so it could be yourself, one of your groups, and then we're going to click on one of our games. So here we go, we have the lobby game, which I love the look of. Let's click on this, and we can head to subscriptions, and here we can create a subscription. So you can see I already made one in the past. I think you can delete them. Yeah, you can delete them. Okay, so let's just quickly delete it. To delete it, you need the last 4 numbers. Let's just copy this and then delete. And oh my god, can I not copy this? Copy this ID, and then it needs the last 4 digits to delete, which I presume is just... Okay, this is now starting to get annoying. Oh, I see what it's doing. Okay, hold on. So to delete something, well, we can do it in the reverse order. You just need to get the last 3 digits, and then just click on the delete button, and boom, it should now be deleted. Okay, so here we go. We have a fresh subscription, and let's start by creating a brand new subscription. Now, there are a couple of rules when it comes to creating a new subscription, okay? Okay, so obviously there are some rules when it comes to creating subscriptions, and these are called the subscription guidelines. So before creating your subscriptions, ensure they align with the Roblox term of usage, okay? You have to provide clear, distinguishable subscription options. So use short and straight to the point, self-explanatory names that differentiate subscription options from one another, offer the same benefits across platforms and devices, regardless of where the subscription was purchased. Ensure the user receives the same benefits for any given subscription plan, and design subscriptions to fit with each other and overall experience offerings. So make sure they just fit in with the game, and that obviously. Do not direct users to purchase from any other website, so this is standard, so don't make them go to another application, and do not gate subscription benefits by additional requirements once the user has paid. So requiring a user to perform additional tasks, such as posting to social media to get access to benefits they have paid for, is strictly prohibited. Okay, so do not do this. Now also, when creating a subscription, you must meet the following prerequisites, okay? So you must be phone or ID verified, and here's an important one: the experience with the subscription must be created in studio and have been available before September 1 or 2023. Of course, this requirement will disappear in the future, but right now that's the requirement, okay? So let's go ahead and now create a subscription. So as you can see, we have to create a picture, okay? So we're going to upload image. And then here I'm going to use just this image I have prepared. It's a nice little drawing I made. And now let's give it a good name. So let's call it Noah's Lobby and then subscription, okay? Now we can give a short description like this subscription allows you to, let's say, delete a part inside of the lobby. Now, as you can see, we do have different types, okay? So, if we click on product type, you can see there's a couple of differences, okay? So there's durable, and these are permanent items that persist after use or acquisition, such as physical items like weapons. If a subscription includes a bundle of different types of goods, with one or more than durable, such as a value pack with a sword and a potion, choose durable as its product type. Consumable. Temporary repurchasable items that expire after use or acquisition, such as consumable potions that grant temporary boosts that expire over time, or currency, any medium of exchange that users can use to purchase items within your experience. So I'm just going to say this is a durable, as we can continue to use it. And now right now the prices are set and are in USD, okay? Now, I believe if you're watching this at the right time, Roblox is actually giving you more money for doing subscriptions, but I can't remember exactly what that is, but you can read up on that on the dev forum. But I'm just going to make this the $2.99. I'm sure Roblox will allow us to choose this later. And then here we have the subscription period, which right now is locked to monthly, but once again, I'm sure that's going to be something we can maybe be able to change in the future. Now remember, if you ever want to delete something, it will result in full refunds for active subscribers and 0 Robux for you. So in most situations, if you want to delete a subscription, make it inactive first and wait for the current period to conclude. Deleting a subscription also requires the last 4 digits of the subscription ID for confirmation. And that is what we did earlier in the video where we deleted it. Now let's talk a bit about the coding side of this. Okay, so as usual, we're going to have to use our super useful friend, which is the marketplace service, and we have to prompt for the purchase of a subscription through a local script, okay? So let's just head into Started UI and create a local script. This is where you can normally put your local scripts, and then we need to define the marketplace service, and the marketplace service is responsible for all of this Game Pass subscription and all of this other stuff. So let's say local marketplace service equals game get service marketplace service, okay? And this is going to define the marketplace service and get it, obviously, and then we can prompt for the purchase of a subscription, okay? So you can do this with a button, you can do it when a user touches a part, it's all up to you, but I'm going to do something super simple. I'm going to wait 5 seconds, so wait 5, and then I'm going to print, and I'm going to say now prompting sale of subscription, and then I'm going to do marketplace service and then prompt, okay, and prompt subscription purchase, and then we need to do the player, so we can get a player locally inside of a game by saying local player equals game dot players dot local player, and now we've got the player object from the local player because we're in a local script. And then we're going to pass the player, and then we need to get our subscription ID. So let's create another variable called local subscription. I'm typing on a funny keyboard, so my typing is a bit slow. And then let's head back to our panel. No, not this one, not that one. Yes, this one. And we're going to copy the ID, return back to yes, back to sudo. And then we're going to paste in the subscription ID here. And now after 5 seconds, it's going to print it, and then it's going to prompt the purchase to be made. So let's just click on play, and now it's going to load into the game. And as you can see, if we check the output, it should wait 5 seconds. Okay, and it now prompts the sale of subscription. As you can see, here it is. Renews monthly, cancel any time, this subscription, and there's the description and the name, okay? And then if we subscribe, we would become a subscriber. Now you may be thinking to yourself, oh, Cookie, how can I do this, and how can my code detect when someone subscribed? And that is a excellent question, okay? So we can do this all through the server script service, and we're going to create a brand new script inside of server script service. I'm also going to call the script inside the started UI the prompter script. Good naming is always very good. And then we are script there, and then we're going to call the one in script the subscription, and then handler. Okay, and once again we're going to be referencing the marketplace service. So let's do the same what we did in the local script, and we're going to define the marketplace service again. Once again, a super handy friend, and then we also need to get the players through local players equals game.players or game get service players, and that allows us to get all the players inside of the game for the player service. And then we should define our subscription ID again, which I'm going to copy from here. Okay, great. Now what we can do is we can handle these events, okay? So let's create a function called grant, okay? Local function grant, and then we're going to close the brackets, and we're going to say dash dash do something here. Okay, and here it's just going to grant the player something if they do something or if they are a subscriber, and then local function revoke award, and then we can close it here. And then we have two functions, which is grant and revoke award, and this is for when a player who does not have a subscription. So for example, if your code saves subscriptions to a data store and has a benefit, that should be revoked. Okay, so you should just use this if they are not a subscriber anymore. And then we can check out the subscription through the check subscription status, which we'll do right now, okay? So once again, we're going to make another function, local function sub or check sub status. Then we're going to close the brackets. And then now we're going to do some handy code that's going to check if the subscription, and we're now going to make some handy code that checks if the user is subscribed, okay? Also, we should pass the player through, or make the player a parameter in all of these functions, because obviously we need to know who we're checking, who we're revoking the award from, and who we're granting the award to. And now let's start with the check. So we are going to use something called a p-call, which in very simple words, it basically protects our scripts from crashing due to mistakes that could happen on the server or other issues like that. That's a very simple definition. And to define one, we can say local success, comma, and then response equals p-call function, and we're just wrapping a function in a p-call, okay? This first variable is success, which obviously tells us if it worked. If it's true, it means it worked. If it's false, it obviously didn't work. And response is just the response from the function, okay? And in here, we're just going to return marketplace service colon, okay, get user subscription status async, and oh my god, that's a mouthful. And we're going to say player, no, not players, player, like this, comma, and then the subscription ID, which is what we defined above, okay? And now this code is literally just going to return if this user is subscribed, okay? Now let's drop a couple of lines, and then we're going to say if not success, okay? So if this success is not equals to true, then warn, which we can do using the warn function, this failed to check the subscription status, and then we can say return, which will just stop this function from running anymore. It will just return nothing. And now we can hand if the response is returned. If response dot is subscribed, then, and we're going to drop a line, and then we're going to grant the award to the player. And if it is false, oopsies, else, we're going to return revoke award, and then also the player once more. Okay, now we need to obviously fire out these events. So let's say players dot player added connect, and then we're just going to pass check sub status. So whenever a player joins the game, it's going to run this function and pass the player, obviously, just like the player added event does. And then there's also a new function called players dot, are you ready for this? User's subscription status change. Once again, another mouthful. And then we need to create a new function for this, which is going to be local function, and a big word here, on user subscription status change, and then some brackets, so another massive function, and then player and the subscription ID, sub ID. We're just going to shorten that down, or we can copy it from up here. and then we're going to pass this, and then we're just going to simply say if subscription ID equals subscription ID. Okay, these should probably not have the same name, so we're just going to say sub ID. Then check sub status player. Okay, so let's just run down what this did. So this will of course run the check sub status function, and then when a user has their subscription change, so for example if they maybe get unsubscribed or they are subscribed, what it's going to do is it's going to check, so it's going to check if their subscription ID that is being changed is related to this code, and if it is, it's going to run the checking subscription status function. Okay, so now let's just handle the grant here, and we did say it's going to delete a part, so let's just be honest to our word, and let's say if you really hate me you can delete my name. So we're just going to say game.workspace.3d text, and then we're just going to destroy it. But then obviously if they want to be nice to us and if they really want to give us our name back and they stop paying for us, what we're going to do is we're just going to head to game.replicated storage, and we're going to clone my name, and we're just going to put the parent to the workspace. Look at that, I'll just come back. Once again, you can do literally anything inside of these grant and revoke or award functions. The world is literally yours to change. And now let's give these a quick whirl. Now I actually haven't tested this out, so let's just give these some print statements because I've never actually messed around with subscriptions. And let's just open up the output and give it a whirl. Okay, here we go, and let's see how it goes. So our prompt to script is going to wait 5 seconds again, and then ooh, is there a breakpoint? Disable breakpoint. Ooh, I don't know if I have a break. Oh, resume. There we go. Okay, and then that should wait 5 seconds. I don't know why I'm stuck in the ground here. Yep. Okay, and let's see, will it work? Okay, so subscribe. Granted. Oh wait, it is working. I'm being silly. That's right. My name shouldn't be there once you're... Okay, I was a bit confused. Yep. My name shouldn't be there. I forgot my logic. So it's really important to always consolidate your logic. My name should not be there when you subscribe, because obviously if you hate me you can delete my name, and it works. Okay, sorry about that little confusion there. But yeah, you can literally change anything you want in these grant and revoke award functions, and I really hope this video helped you get an understanding for these new subscriptions. I mean, I don't know if you'd want to use them in your game. I've heard lots of opinions on them, but personally I think they're pretty cool. So let me know if you're going to try this out in your games. Thank you for tuning in, have a wonderful evening, and bye bye from me.